Welcome to Real Estate 360, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Mike Ambrosio, will provide you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate, and much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. This is Mike D'Ambrosio with RE360 Radio. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon, this beautiful Monday afternoon. A lot better weather today than I think it was last week, so I hope you're out there enjoying the sun. We're talking anything and everything real estate, providing you great information and education. We have a great show in store for you today. I'll introduce my guests in just a couple of minutes, but a few housekeeping things to get it out of the way. Just a reminder for those of you just tuning in, there's a couple of different ways you can listen to our show. That is on the radio at KDOW 1220 AM, KDOW 1220 AM, so turn your dial. You can also listen to us live online at kdow.biz, and KDOW also has an app, so check that out in your app store, download it. And it's really easy to use, and you can listen to us on the go, which is cool. We come to you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. I'm on Mondays, and we are a live show, so we'd love to hear your suggestions and get your phone calls on the air. So if you'd like to chime in, give us a call, 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220. If you have any questions for me or for my guest, if you have real estate questions, give us a call. Finally, if you missed any shows or want to sign up for the updates, visit our website at re360radio.com. And I believe tomorrow is the RE360 mixer at the Toll House Hotel. So we have a live show tomorrow at Toll House. The live show is from 3 to 4. Tom Wilson from Wilson Investments is going to be the sponsor, and it'll be a good time. And then from 4 to 6, we have appetizers and wine, so you can't really go wrong with that. All right, so let's get to our show today. We got a lot to cover. I have live in studio today Josh Burroughs. He is a development manager for Barry Swenson Builder. How you doing today, Josh?
Doing well, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Most of you have probably driven around town and seen the Barry Swenson signs all over the place, so now we got someone on the inside inside to talk about, what's going on in downtown, all the new developments, and we're gonna cover a lot today, so it'll be a good show if you're curious about everything that's going on in Silicon Valley. So Josh, why don't you maybe give us a little bit of your background and where you came from and what you do and all that good stuff.
Sure. All right. Well, I grew up in Campbell, and then went to high school at Bellarmine.
Boo, Bellarmine. I'm a MIDI guy, so
fair enough. Went down to CalBRE
Yeah.
for college, studied management, and then moved back up to San Jose and started working for Barry directly. There's about 6 people on our development team, and we do sort of everything, soup to nuts. We handle land acquisitions, and then once we acquire land, our team handles all project approvals and entitlement work, permits, and then we also manage the architect and the contracting team. Bring on equity and debt financing for these projects.
Right.
And then also work with guys like you if we need to sell our project if it's residential.
That's right.
So yeah, really soup to nuts, very diverse roles. It's exciting to go to work and work on something really different every day.
Yeah, that's really neat. And how does, and Barry pretty well. I'm sure people think, and he's still working today. So a lot of people probably think, who's this Barry Swenson guy? Because they see his name everywhere, right? How did he really get to where he's at today? I mean, what was his kind of story?
Sure. So we're a 4th generation company, and the Swenson family has been around building for about 100 years now in the Valley. His grandpa moved over into Turlock and then started building in downtown San Jose. Built the Hotel De Anza.
Oh, okay.
1931.
Wow.
And then, so that was the Carl N. Swenson Construction Company. They did everything. They built Numi. They built, most of Moffett Field.
Wow.
Every big project you could think about. They built bridges. And then Barry broke off and started his own design build firm in the late 70s. And he actually got his one of his first contracts for IBM. He did a build to suit for them out in Almaden, and he convinced them to allow him to grow alfalfa in the front. He's a green thumb,
Okay.
farming family.
Yeah.
And anyways, so we started off as a construction company, design build, and that sort of trickled into development. And now Case Swenson, his son, just came on board as our president running day-to-day operations.
Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting. And they built NUMMI. And for those of you that don't know, that's where Tesla is now.
Right,
So if you're
Tesla.
driving on the freeway, I grew up in Fremont, so I used to drive by NUMMI all the time, and then it was empty for a long time, and then
Right.
finally Tesla. What are they building next to that? There's a big development going on. Is that Tesla too?
I don't believe that's Tesla.
Okay, just probably another tech company. All right, so what about another question I wanted to ask you, and maybe a lot of people might be interested in the answer to this, is when you guys, buy land and you were talking about getting entitlements and approvals and all that, what is typically the time frame that goes along with that? Because I know for some people it can be a really long process,
Right.
and for people like you that maybe have a lot of weight with the county and with the city, how does that all work?
Yeah, so I mean, we're always evaluating risk. That's all we're doing. And, you can either get a really good land value and there's possibly more risk, or the process is going to take longer, or you can pay more money and maybe there's a really short amount
Right.
of risk. And BRE has, very much been an innovator and a trendsetter. We brought on the first transit-oriented development in San Jose. At the time, it was very controversial. Our 9-story.
Which one's that?
It's called Vendome. It's at the old Civic Center area at First and Taylor Street.
Right.
But it was the first high-density, multifamily product in the San Jose area. Everyone was doing townhomes or single-family homes, and then we started, not encouraging that, or the city stopped encouraging that, and so we worked on entitlements for that project probably for 15 years, I want to say.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it was worth it, and BRE, constantly was, encouraging, less people commuting to work, and how can you do higher density on transit or close to the jobs?
Right. Kind of like what we're seeing now a lot. The new buzzword is urban villages.
I know. I'm hoping we can talk about that today.
Yeah, no, I
have
definitely
some
want to talk about that. Yeah. Well, good. Why don't we talk a little? If you're just tuning in, I got Josh Burroughs here, development manager for BRE Swenson Builder. And give us a call if you have any questions about what BRE Swenson's up to, what he likes to eat for breakfast in the morning. I don't know. Just give us a call if you have questions for Josh. 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220, or just real estate questions in general. Give me a call. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on, especially, a lot of what we're focusing on today is the downtown core, and which is really kind of the heartbeat of Silicon Valley. But what do you think about the supply and demand, that's going on down there, and maybe a little bit of a snapshot of the market?
Sure. So, residential supply,
Yeah.
For sale is very, very low.
Yeah, we were just checking. It's like 9 houses on the market,
Yeah.
single family, and about a dozen condo townhouses. So
Yeah,
that's nothing.
I have buddies. You have buddies in our age range trying to buy their first home.
Right.
And they'll send you something, Mike, and be like, "Hey, can we tour this?"
Yeah.
And then by the time you read the email, it's
gone.
already sold, and you got
Yeah.
to make that phone call to your friend. But
Yeah.
it's rough, and we have a huge supply of rental apartments coming online,
Okay.
which is good.
Yeah.
The more people we get downtown, the more retail restaurants will show up, and potential shopping.
Right.
But yeah, right now we have a super low supply of for sale product.
Do you think a lot of those rental apartments will eventually be turned into condos that will actually be for sale?
Yeah, I can speculate. Typically, the groups that are coming in, the real estate trusts and pension funds that are buying these projects, it's really hard to find good projects for
Right.
these companies. And so when they finally do find a project and invest, usually they like to keep it, because if they sell it, then they
Right.
got to go find another property. It's really difficult.
Right.
So it's possible. Some of them are being what we call mapped for condos.
Right.
I believe the Centera project, about 360 units going up across from San Pedro Square Market.
Right.
I think that's being built to a condo spec.
Okay.
And that means it just has all the little bit higher in qualities like a condo would,
Right.
like a home.
If you're driving downtown, the building he's referring to is on Santa Clara, right across from San Pedro Square, right?
Oh, it's on, I believe it's Almaden and Notre
Oh,
Dame, or
okay.
St. John.
Yeah.
It's a full block there.
I couldn't believe how quickly it's going up. I was driving. We went to the Sharks game the other night, and we were down there for getting some food and drinks. And then I look up and I see this huge building, and it was amazing because that was just a dirt lot, short time ago.
Yeah, that was our old. I'm in a band, and that was our old jam space that got demolished.
There you go.
So we moved down the street a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Our band actually has been a really good economic indicator.
Oh, really?
You know where the San Pedro Square Market is? We used to
Right.
practice in there. One of our lead guitarist is one of the owners of the market.
Right.
And anyways, so that we got kicked out of there, and then the market came in, and then
There you go.
Centerra's going up, and so we'll see.
So your next place might be another building, right?
Yeah, it's actually the block next door. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
So what is, besides the condos and apartments that are going there, is that going to be retail and commercial below?
Yeah, so there'll be a certain amount of retail on the ground floor, 20-foot high space.
Mm-hmm.
I think there might be 2 or 3 like 6,000 square foot retail spaces. So I'm thinking like Amici's Pizza type,
Yeah.
single tenant.
Right.
So
What other projects do you guys have coming up, whether it's downtown or elsewhere? What else is coming on soon?
oh boy, lots of stuff. This is gonna be a pretty banner year for us.
Yeah.
And that just has to do a lot of pent up demand and financing getting a little bit easier now. But we're under construction on 2 Marriott Town Place Suites projects, one in San Jose, one in Santa Clara. We're also doing a Hilton in Palo Alto on El Camino right now.
So a couple hotel projects, huh? There's
Yeah.
a demand for that?
Big demand. Yeah, we've as a company stayed away from the full service approach like a Fairmont or something like that.
Right.
We do these extended stay projects. We have a partner out of the southeast who's been just really crucial, and his crystal ball on we basically bring him sites, and if he thinks it's good, we go forward. So
Right.
I think we have 5 or 6 Marriott Town Place Suites that have been performing really well, and we're constantly looking at new hotel sites.
How's that project going on San Carlos and Meridian?
Let's see. I believe that's the Meridian Mixed Use project that's actually Republic Urban Properties.
Okay.
Is the developer on that, and we're the contractor. But I think it's gonna hit it out of the park.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take a break, but we are talking live in studio today with Josh Burroughs, the development manager for Barry Swenson Builder. We got a lot coming up. Some other infrastructure projects downtown, a retail update, affordable housing. So if you got any questions for us, give us a call, 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220. We'll get your calls on the air and get you some good information. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you on the other side of the break.
Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on RE360 Radio, KDOW AM 1220. Talking live in studio today with Barry Swenson Builder's very own Joshua Burroughs, the development manager for Barry Swenson Builder. And we got a lot to cover today, and you're going to get a lot of good information on what's coming up in the Silicon Valley, particularly downtown San Jose, because that is the hub of Silicon Valley. So if you got any questions for myself or Josh, we'd love to hear from you. 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. All right, so let's get back into it. We were talking off air, with all these we're going to give a little bit of you're going to give a little bit of a retail update and then also all the jobs that are coming into the area. And it's like, we already have an inventory crunch as it is. Where are all these people going to live?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I forget which quarter it was, but we added, I want to say 35,000 new jobs in this last fiscal year, and we've only added 8,000 new building permits for like per unit, right? 8,000 units. So it's a supply and demand crunch, and I really feel like that's, if you just look at general economics, that's why housing is so expensive, and it will continue that way.
Right.
Until we can balance the market. If it was a straight economics play, you flood the market with housing and the prices will lower.
Right.
The rents will lower, everything like that, and the for sale prices might lower too, which is probably bad for your industry, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be, but it's also good because then people are actually getting houses too, though,
Right.
Whereas right now, it's impossible. I don't want to say it's impossible. It's really difficult for a well-qualified buyer to get something, And I'm just thinking because there's not much. We keep adding jobs and jobs, but there's not much more land to buy. I mean, that's why I've done a couple presentations on why the Silicon Valley market is so strong and the lack of land. So that's why, companies like you guys, you'll see a lot of more high-rise development coming on. You'll see the urban village concept, those types of things because they take up less land and you can fit more units on it. So.
Right. I think we got to continue building out these neighborhoods, like the San Pedro Square Market neighborhood has a bunch of sites around it that you could do, high density housing, and it's already has momentum where the retail would follow, right? Instead of building, massive amount of housing in certain random nodes, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult. There has to be a sort of a built up of residential density for retailers to come in.
Yeah.
But I think we were talking offline, but there's 2 million square feet of office coming just on one project,
right?
Just in North San Jose, and where are those people gonna be housed?
Where are they gonna live? Yeah,
where are they gonna live?
The piece of land he's referring to, and I heard this the other day too at our commercial meeting. It's right on 101. Where Bay 101 is, the casino, where they just built across the highway is Casino Matrix.
Right.
So they're going to be moving Bay 101 across the highway, and then they're going to build out this huge office complex on 101, right?
Right.
And no one really knows who the heck it's going to be.
The mystery tenant.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation. I heard it's going to be a Fortune 500 company. But who knows? I don't know. But the bottom line is, where the heck are all these people going to live?
Right. And so, I mean, there is a pipeline of apartments coming, online right now in downtown. You have the One South Market by Essex.
Right.
I think that's about 360 units, and they're making really good progress. Followed right behind that's going to be the Centera project next to San Pedro Square Market. It's another 360 units. And then you have the Tersini, the KT property project, which is on St. James, just on the other side of the market as well. And that's entitled for, 600 units, something massive.
When are all these supposed to all be finished?
So for high-rise construction, we're just imagine it's about 2 years of construction per project in a nutshell.
Okay.
So
another couple of years. And I think that'll help downtown because for many years in the past, downtown's been a little bit of a ghost town, I think, especially for nightlife and for restaurants. And I know, a lot of people that listen to the show might know that my family's involved in the restaurant business, and it's always been tough for us to evaluate downtown because besides just Sharks games and maybe some concerts, it's kind of dead down there, But I think with all this new housing coming in and people and like the projects like San Pedro Square, I don't know. I think it might be a good thing, right?
Yeah, I think there's been about 50 new restaurants that just came into downtown within the last year. So I feel like there's a lot of momentum. We've gotten over the hump.
Yeah, no, hopefully, definitely. Well, we've got a lot more to get to on the other side of the break, but we got to take a quick one. You're listening to RE360 Radio on KDOW AM 1220. We're talking with Josh Burroughs from Barry Swenson Builder. Give him a call, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220.
For more information on today's program, visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on RE360 Radio, KDOW AM 1220. Live in studio today with Joshua Burroughs from Barry Swenson Builder. and he's the development manager for Barry Swenson Builder, Josh Burroughs. Give us a call, 1-800-516-1220 if you have any questions. We're talking anything and everything development-wise in Silicon Valley today. So it's a great show, great topic. And it looks like we got a caller on the line, Mike from San Jose. He knows where we're going to live. Mike, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for taking my call. Yes, I was listening to your question about where are they all going to live. And I'm a big fan of vertical and transit-friendly housing growing in the downtown area. My understanding is there's a master plan that builders have to either pay attention to or follow that the city produces such that land can become available for building on. And in particular, San Jose has a rather large amount of land to the south of it, I understand. I was just wondering what builder might, what your guest would say about how that plan comes out in the next 5 or 10 years, what he expects. Is it going to look like it does from Los Angeles to San Diego? Are we going to fill up everything from here to Morgan Hill or down to Gilroy? Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Josh, do you want to?
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if Mike's talking about the housing element update, but there's people moving into California, regardless of what we think, and so the state mandates each city to allocate a certain amount of land and take their fair share of the housing burden.
Right.
And so cities like Cupertino, let's say they're required to plot out on a map to the state where potential housing can be put. Let's say they have to do, I think it's around 1,000 units, right?
Right.
San Jose has to show a map that we could do like 20,000 units.
Right.
So, but there is more incentives in the downtown. The downtown zone is called the core, and it's pre-zoned for basically maximum density, whether it's office or residential towers, and there's additional incentives. So as far as a Wilshire corridor going all the way out to Almaden with towers, I don't think that's going to happen, but there are incentives that make it financially feasible to do the more expensive construction, which are tower projects. So
interesting. Thank you for the call, Mike. We appreciate that. And, Josh is definitely the guy to ask for that. We got to take a break soon, but let's kind of start with, we wanted to talk, we're talking about a lot of different housing projects and where are people going to live. But at the same time, how are people going to afford this housing too? I mean, I know there's a lot of affordable housing, limitations and requirements. So, I mean, what is your thought on that?
So, I mean, the apartments are the most affordable form of housing, right? You don't have to put up a $50,000 down payment, something like that.
Right.
So the more units we can bring online, the more inner competition there will be between projects, which lowers the rent per month.
Right.
And then there's also, and we'll probably talk about this a little later, but that's for moderate, I would call that affordable housing, right? Compared to buying a home. Then there's low-income housing, which is another hot topic right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know we're running a little short on time, and hopefully we'll tackle it. But there are ways to build true affordable housing, and our company's working on a new product right now. It's an affordable by design project. Think in the realm of modular type things, but where we look at every single cost of a condo. Yeah. And we're able to deliver a product that's just as brand new as a luxury apartment. It's just doesn't cost as much.
Right. It's more affordable.
Yeah, it's more affordable, and we don't need city subsidies or low-income housing tax credits, things like that. So there are solutions out there, and so stay tuned.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that on the other side of the break. But give us a call if you have any other questions. 1-800-516-1220. 1-800-516-1220. Got Josh Burroughs in studio today from Barry Swenson Builder, big builder in downtown. Hope you're enjoying your Monday afternoon, and we'll catch you on the other side of the break.
Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back, Mike D'Ambrosio with RE360 Radio, KDOW AM 1220. Talking live in studio today with Josh Burroughs, the development manager for Barry Swenson Builder. Got a good call earlier. If you have any other questions for Josh, give us a call, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. And we're talking development in Silicon Valley, the need for housing.
Housing crunch.
Yeah, the housing crunch. That's exactly. So you were talking, before we took the break, you were talking about affordable housing and what kind of new project you guys are talking. Why don't you further explain that a little bit?
Sure. So, apartments are, the most affordable type of housing out there, right? And we need all sorts of different housing for all income groups, right? And then there's also a segment for super low and low income housing, right? And typically those have been, paid for through subsidies from the city and redevelopment agencies when they were around. And then low income housing developers have done what they do with tax credits and things like that.
Right.
But it's super complicated and difficult, and we do have some really good developers in Silicon Valley doing just that, which is great. But we never have enough. It never seems like we have enough, right? And so we've been working on a product to deliver, super affordable housing just by building smarter, right? And I do feel that there's developers out there like us where we could pick a couple sites in our portfolio that we could do this product. Mm-hmm. And like I said before, it's just as brand new as other luxury apartments, and it's a roof over your head, and it's nice and clean, and you know. So anyways, I was just saying that there's options out there right now. There's a nexus study going on with at least the city of San Jose, looking at charging an additional fee
to builders.
To builders, market rate developers, because they feel that by building market rate apartments, that is the cause for the need for low income apartments, because they're basically stopping there in the food chain.
Right.
Really, we're just responding to a need for housing because we added 35,000 new jobs, and those people have to live somewhere.
Right.
So we're just responding to that. And those people, they eat at restaurants, and they go shopping, they go to the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
And that's where the Nexus study stops. It stops at the residential developer and doesn't go past that. Obviously, that'd be controversial, right? If you start charging Cisco and Samsung a fee, right? And no city wants to do that. But, so we're trying to look at some creative solutions to help out that without stifling development. Because, if you make it harder for developers to build, there's just going to be less housing.
Right, and that's what doesn't make any sense.
That exacerbates the problem.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you want builders to build affordable, low-income housing, but then you're going to be charging them an extra fee on top of that. I mean, you guys are, builders are in the business to make money, right? I mean, we all get that, and there's no hiding that. So by putting another layer to that, and charging them to build low income, I don't get it. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
And I'm not sure how many cash developers there are out there, but groups like us, we're constantly pitching, outside equity sources and investors from out of the state, and we're trying to sell them on why they should invest in projects in San Jose or Santa Clara or whatever it is. And if there's a constant onslaught of increased fees and things like that, it makes it more difficult to revitalize neighborhoods and add those new restaurants and shopping. So I think we just all need to work together on, moving the ball forward down the field. Yeah.
Just so the listeners know too, I mean, a lot of these things get brought up in Sacramento, at
and
the
locally.
State and locally. Yeah. And you guys are represented, realtors especially, and builders have their own associations, like realtors have the Santa Clara County Association of Realtors, and we have our government committee, and we're constantly watching things like this, just like the builders are. You have your own lobbying groups, right? So just so the listeners know, I mean, this type of stuff is going on all the time, and we're constantly fighting against these types of fees or things that will affect your private property rights and home ownership rights, so don't get too freaked out. But I mean, there are things that get proposed a lot that, are scary. Right.
And what we're trying to do is, instead of just throwing money at the problem, how can we creatively come up with new building solutions for that? And I think that's how we're going to deliver a lot more real affordable housing for the low income category. Yeah. And I mean, we were talking too a little off air, and I know you have to do the affordable housing, and you want to do it. I mean, you want to make this area affordable to live, but I often question it,
how affordable can Silicon Valley really ever get? I mean, it's going to be really difficult. I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, our company's always pursued, transit-oriented developments. We've been somewhat of a pioneer in the San Jose area, and we're trying to encourage less commuting, right? Because right now everyone's pushed out. They're commuting from, at least the working population, in the service industry or whatnot. A lot of people are having to commute from Hollister or Tracy, things like that.
Right.
And so the more housing we can bring online, I feel like the higher quality of life everyone's going to have. They can make it on time for their kids, soccer game after they're not having to drive 2 hours back home.
Yeah,
So
would you consider urban villages the type of transit living you're talking about, or maybe explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so it's complicated, right? The whole mixed use is a very popular term, by the way.
It is. It's a nice new
Banks,
buzzword.
Yeah, lenders and banks hate the term. They usually like either funding a apartment only or an office project only.
Interesting, yeah.
And a lot of the times, you're sticking a mixed use project in the middle of, let's say, a sea of residential single family homes, right?
Yeah.
So there's certain economics that have to work for like a grocery store to move in, or there has to be a certain, I don't know, there's just a lot of different things you got to look at. And the urban village plan really tries to create that mass,
right,
where everyone can succeed. The cleaners, the clothes cleaners, and the restaurant, the subway guy, and everything. So,
and kind of like what we're talking about is Santana Row is basically the main example that we're talking about, right? Anyways, we got to take a break. You're listening to RE360 Radio, KDOW AM 1220. Give us a call, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. Live in studio today with Josh Burroughs from Barry Swenson Builder, and we'll catch you on the other side of the break. Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on RE360 Radio, KDOW AM 1220. We're in our last segment. We're going to start wrapping things up, but it's been a great show. Josh Burroughs from Barry Swenson Builder is in studio, development manager, and got a lot of content out there today, and I thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys got something out of it, and there's a lot of great things going on in downtown San Jose and Silicon Valley in general, and why don't you maybe highlight a couple of those things for us?
Yeah, no, Mike, I'm very, very excited for the momentum of everything going on.
Yeah.
All the different organizations, the city, nonprofits, developers, everyone's really working in unison right now. So there's things like, that we're making progress of bringing BART down through and connecting the loop around the bay.
That would be awesome.
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
We have multiple tower projects going up. Other projects are finishing entitlements and getting financing. I mean, there's an onslaught of new restaurants coming downtown. There's sort of a brew pub thing going on with the microbrew. I know you brew beer on the side.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I'm trying.
So anyways, there's in all sectors, whether it's hotel or restaurants or residential or even office, we're seeing people move down from the peninsula for our sort of our better value, right, in San Jose. And so all pistons are firing on everything. So I think the next part of that we'll finally see more shopping in downtown.
Yeah.
So once we get all those other things going, then we're going to see everyone wants a Santana Row type feel, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll start getting higher quality, bigger retailers downtown once we check everything else off the list.
So you get the Apple store down there.
Exactly.
The other type of things.
And we got a really good site for it too.
Yeah. I bet. What if people want to find out more about your company and about you? Where can they go for that?
Yeah, sure. So it's BarrySwensonBuilder.com. That's BarrySwenson, and then Builder, and Builder's singular. So BarrySwensonBuilder.com.
Yeah, and if you didn't get that spelling, just drive around town and look up his sign and try to find a sign. But no, that's really great, and I think a lot of people don't really know what's going on in downtown San Jose because maybe they live outside of the area and they haven't been down there for a while. So if you're listening, go check it out. I mean, especially go to a Sharks game and beforehand,
go to the market.
Yeah, go have some beers or whatnot. So, anyways, no, it's been a great show. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I mean the quality of life is definitely just adding downtown. My beautiful wife and I, we just have a great time. We live right downtown the core, and it's only going to get better. Super convenient, and the diversity of things to do and places to eat is just outstanding.
That's awesome. So thanks for listening in today, and you have been listening to RE360 Radio. Question of the week, what was the study that Josh referred to? Email me, Mike at re360radio.com. I'll give you a hint. It starts with an N. Mike at re360radio.com. If you get the right answer, you'll be entered in for a drawing for a free pizza at Giorgio's or Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's, our sponsor. Anyways, thanks for listening in, everyone. Hope you're having a great Monday afternoon. RE360 Radio comes to you Monday through Friday. Joe Cacero's on tomorrow. And I will catch you next week. Thanks for listening in, and have a great rest of the day. Bye.
You've been listening to Real Estate 360 on AM 1220 KDOW. For more information on today's program, visit re360radio.com. That's re360radio.com. AM 1220 KDOW.